Hey everybody, it's Angel. Take 2 of the live Q&A, right? Yes, it's Angel calling y'all from Halo Inspirations. We give you inspirations to help you spread beauty and joy through your quilting journey. Michael Mayhem is on board. Say hello, Michael.
Hello.
There we go. Hey, I'm glad to see Sherry with a C and Sherry with an S. Say that 5 times fast. And of course, our Mary. Glad to see you all. We're doing the live Q&A based off the video, and I still had sound issues, and I'm going to talk about that. And I asked Michael to pay attention. Y'all can see this right here. This is the mic, and it's new to me, so I'm still trying to figure out the best thing with it. So that's where some of it came from. I could have adjusted it, but I didn't even think. So I still had sound issues. It's a glorious day here in South Arizona. Boop, boop. Love it. You're getting ready for a long weekend. Very cool. Yes, and Miss Sherry. Sherry, I have one thing. Before we start into this, I was thinking about you. When I went to, and let me know if my sound's good. Okay, because I can't tell. So, I thought about you when I was at the retreat in Liberty, Missouri with Angela Walters. One of my table buddies, I think she actually lives in, oh no, I don't remember where she lives. Somewhere in the East Coast, okay? I think it's either New York or higher. But she has a sister who lives near you, and she was going to be with her sister to go to the balloon festival. And I thought, it just reminded me of you, Sherry. And I'm wondering, how did your balloon festival go? And I will tell you, she always looks forward to the quilts that your guild makes. And she purchases something through your guild. I'm not sure what it was, but I'm just really, really curious how it went for you, and if you had a good time, and if you took any pictures, because we love your pictures. Harley, glad to see you popping in to say hi before you go back to work from a break. Well, enjoy the rest of your break. And glad you stopped in. Thank you, Harley. You're such a sweetheart. Hey there, Sharina. Sharina out of Utah. And FYI, did anybody know that Lori Holt is out of Utah? So Sherry, doing good, prepping for your shifts at the balloon festival. Okay, so here we go. We're talking. You're starting on Saturday. Okay, I wasn't sure when that all thing started. I knew she was driving down there to. Her sister lives by you. I don't know if her sister is a quilter. I'll tell you what. I will reach out, and I will let her know while she's at the balloon festival if you don't mind. I'd love to say, hey, check out Sherry Shore. She's a phenomenal quilter, and she's part of that guild. And because she loves what y'all do. She loves what y'all do. Absolutely loves it. She looks forward to it every year, and she travels to do that. So I thought it was really cool. I thought of you. I didn't mention it to her. You can always Facebook message me or send me a text or whatever, and just let me know if it'd be okay. Either way, it's up to you. I was just thinking there's such a connection there, and she's a wonderful woman. FYI, guys, she bought a long arm while we were in COVID. And during COVID, they couldn't, a lot of times when you buy a long arm, somebody will come out and set it up. She's in her 70s, and it was during COVID, and the UPS guy dropped it off, and she had to set the whole thing up herself. And she did it. She did a wonderful job. She's able to quilt. She had a couple of bumps, and you can post the link to your store for raffle tickets. Oh, please do. And I think that's what she did. I think that's what she buys. Oh yeah, would you do that? Can you post that inside Creative Kingdom? Heck yeah, that would be awesome. I appreciate that, Sherry. So anyway, she's got that whole thing up herself. And y'all know, these machines are big, right? So they're heavy. They've got all these parts. She did it all herself. I'm like, wow, I have nothing to complain about. Okay. So sorry to sidebar on some issues, or not issues, but on some topics, because I just saw Sherry, and you haven't been around for a while. I know you've been really busy, and I just thought of you, and I'm glad that you are able to stop in, and I just wanted to connect with you on that level, because listen, guys, we are all quilters, and we may be so many miles apart, or all the way across from the ocean if you're coming to us from another country, but we are united, and we are brothers and sisters of quilting, and it just, we really do have a bond with that. So when we know someone's going somewhere doing something, we all have that little connection. So that's where my head went, which also takes me to the Florida situation with Ian, and I'm pronouncing it as a Hispanic. I don't know if Americans say, I don't even know how Americans would say it. IAN is the name of the storm. For me, it's Ian. I don't know. I'm not Hispanic, but I speak Spanish, and I don't know how to say that in English, so that's where I go. But there's a lot of us quilters that are in Florida, so we've checked on, I know that a number of you inside the Halo community also enjoy Practically Creative Melissa. She lives in Florida, and so I've been thinking about her. Anybody living in, we have 2 other friends who live out of Florida. Michael, you know Pollo, Dave. He's in Jacksonville. Uh-huh. Yeah. No, but he's good. Yeah. He's safe. And Mike, our best man, he lives in Tampa. Yeah. Right. We contacted him. He's all good. So, I just want to take a moment and, I really do truly hope that each and every one of us quilters and quilter families and all your friends, if you have people that live in Florida, it was pretty dramatic. I mean, to hit a Cat 4 on that west end of Florida, that's pretty intense. That's intense for anybody. I don't care where you live. Now it's creeping up, and it's now into the Atlantic Ocean. It has passed over Florida, so now they have to, regroup and get themselves on board again with electricity and cleanup. I will tell you, as a person who's lived through a hurricane, and Michael's been there, the cleanup is bad. I mean, you got a lot of work to do, but the worst part is living without electricity, period. And they'll be out without electricity for a while because they had some structure issues. So I really am praying for each and one of those people. And if anybody has somebody, I just want to remind you to check on them, make sure they're good, and think about them, because it's pretty intense. That storm was. We're expecting some on starting tomorrow. I do right now have the sky doesn't look right, and we have a light wind with occasional sprinkles, but it's not supposed to start for us till tomorrow. And well, I see that I'm going to come back to you, Sherry. So come Saturday, the worst I'm supposed to get are 40-mile-an-hour winds at top. I don't know if that's gusts or winds. If it's just winds, that means we can have bigger. We are told we may have isolated tornadoes. Tornadoes don't freak me out, guys, so I don't want anybody to worry about it. It doesn't freak me out at all. I'm kind of disappointed that I'm not getting a bigger storm, because once you get to know me, I love storms. I live for them, and we haven't had any real big storms since, like, what, Michael? 20... Whatever. Whatever year, the year before you graduated high school.
2011.
Okay, there you go. We haven't had a real good storm here since 2011. So I plan on still being in Creative Kingdom unless we do lose power for any reason, because we lost power a few days ago out of the blue. We hadn't lost power in a long time, so it was really odd. So if something happens, I will keep you updated, and we'll go from there. But right now, we are still on board for doing Creative Kingdom's happy hour on Saturday. So I hope to see you all there. Sherry says you can let her know I work the evenings this weekend and next. Okay. Let me write that down. Hold on. Thank you, Sherry. I will. And if she's going at that time, then I will let her know to look you up, because there's a connection there, and she's a wonderful soul. You'll really enjoy her. Okay, so today we are here because the actual video, I don't think it dropped till 9 at night, so all of the processing on the YouTube side, Wednesdays are the worst, so all the processing actually took a lot longer, and I think it was 9 that it got posted, but the bottom line is it was later than normal, because I pulled down the old video because I just wasn't happy, and there's things about this one too, but it is what it is. So I want to talk to you about certain things within that video, doing your own Santa hat ornament. And I've got other ideas for ornaments, but we're going to move on because the next Christmas Wednesday is not an ornament. And I'll have to come back in the future and do something else. But I do have things to talk about within that video. Okay, so that's where we are. If y'all have any questions, I know a number of you have already watched it. And I'm going to comment on some of the comments that I've received on that video because y'all are awesome. I mean, Halo cannot be as awesome without you because, your ideas, your resources, your inspirations, and correcting my words. Because I don't always talk right. I can't always find the words. So y'all help me with that too. So I'm going to talk about that for a little bit too. But the first thing in the first video, it was in there. In the one that was updated, it was not. So I want to talk about a little bit about tracing this particular template. And I'm also, I'm just going to go there. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about tracing and how this template works. You can, Sharina, you should live in Oklahoma if you're big on storms. Oh, but those aren't hurricanes and they're landlocked. Okay. Sharina, I love, listen, I met my husband in Missouri. I lived in Kansas at the time with my parents and we went to college, and Kansas City is on the border. And you want to talk about some storms? We have tornadoes that are E4s plus, right? I've been through a lot of storms on that level in Oklahoma. It's the hurricanes that I love. I know that sounds really bad, guys, but I do have a point when I would leave. If, a Cat 3, that's where depending on what the Cat 3 is whether or not I would evacuate. Cat 4, I'm gone. Cat 5, I'm long gone. You don't even have to ask me twice. But I love weather. I have weather stations on my property. I have little things that keep me on track. I love weather. I love storms. I love it all. And we've been through a number of it in all the places that we lived in the world. And each time is very unique. And I just love it. But I really love hurricanes. All right. I know that sounds weird, but I do. They're such a beautiful thing with nature. They're very catastrophic. I don't like that part. I just like being inside of it. And before I switch cameras, one of the things that I learned when we went through I think it was 2011, right, Michael? We went through that hurricane where we lost power for six days, plus an earthquake the same within a week.
What?
What you saw, it was bad. I mean, we had so much cleanup. The city was tore up. We didn't have power across a lot of places. But what you saw was the community comes together. It's kind of like when we had 9/11 and, as a nation, we all came together. Well, in a hurricane, at the end, everybody comes together. They're all cleaning up together. They do what they can to help you, fix your house or get it so it's not going to have problems until you can get it fixed, if it's fixable. If it's not, then, people are extending themselves beyond extending the cleanup. People are out helping all the people in the neighborhoods and everything. They're all out there. You have trucks coming through and they're picking up all the debris extra. Electrical companies from various states come in and they help restore all the all the down lines and everything. It's just not the same state. And so the thing about it, all know I love quilts because of the stories. Okay. That's where the connection comes from. And that's what I love about hurricanes. It's not, I do love the weather. I do love to see nature at its finest. But it's the afterward when you see all these people come together and embrace each other and help each other. And it is so unlike anything else. And it's really heartwarming, and it adds to your story. Plain and simple. It just adds to the story, and it embarks a place in your memory and in your heart. Even though it was bad, it has a lot of good that comes out of it. And that's really where it comes from for me. It's watching everybody come together, and your story becomes part of your heart. All right. So, the first thing I want to say, I did talk about, hello there, Miss Sassy Steph. Hope your weather is holding up. She's out in North Carolina. But the first thing I want to say, I did talk about Heat and Bond Light. And I did say it's a couple of seconds. Well, that wasn't a lie. But I want to accentuate a little bit. If you are using Heat and Bond Light, I did talk about if you press too long, it takes away from the adhesive. Okay? It will. How do I know? Number one, everybody says it, but I've done it. Okay? I've done it. So the actual instructions, and I went and read them today before I came on here because I wanted to be able to tell you. It's 2 seconds when you do that first applying to the original fabric. It's actually 6 seconds when you're applying it to the whole thing. Okay, so, it was 2 seconds to add to the hat. And then when you add the hat to the background fabric, that's 6 seconds. Now, I still sometimes find that they say medium heat, so it may not be, your medium heat may be different than somebody else's medium heat. So it may take longer. And you just, like you saw me do in the video, you just want to check that it does adhere before you don't iron. If you hold it too long and it doesn't adhere, that's why. And you got to start all over. Okay? So 2 seconds for the initial to get it on the fabric, and up to 6 seconds. Sometimes people hold it longer. I do not. My iron is at medium heat, is pretty warm, and I usually do somewhere between 4 and 6 for that second application. I wanted to make sure that I address that. Okay, so Sharina, your church wears yellow helping hands shirts and have supplies ready to distribute as soon as they can. Yeah, see, I love that. I love that the community embraces each other. I love that. Oh, Sassy Stuff, you've done it too with Heat and Bond? Yeah, you can let it sit too long. Now,
That's
talked
cool
about...
Also. Now, if you hold it there for, I don't even know how long it would take, but let's just say for 45 seconds. I don't know the exact number, but if you hold your iron down too long...
I did something to my ear. Can y'all still hear me?
Here correctly. So it's real important that you just do it for 2 to 5 seconds.
I'm hearing myself,
and
I don't know why.
Do this, you just want to make sure.
I want to make sure nobody's hearing me twice.
In fact, stuck. Okay. If you find that it's
hold on just a second.
Sticking, I would try to adhere a little bit longer. But
I'm going to take them out for just a second. I'm going to keep moving. Okay,
that,
so another thing
one of the reasons it may
that
not
happens, I hope y'all aren't getting issues, is you can just heat it too long.
We're all cut and ready to go.
So here's where I was going. So another thing, I talked about the silicone mat, which is still upstairs with my husband where he did the Heat and Bond Light. You are hearing me twice. Oh,
And
you hear me
wanna try
twice.
to cut on the line.
Okay.
But, you know,
It should.
I'm not perfect. I don't know about
All right.
you.
I'm going to. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
fix
hear you
this, guys.
twice.
Give me a hot
But
second.
you're simply going to cut it all the way out.
Yeah. You're hearing what
And
I'm
notice
hearing, and I
I
don't know how to.
am
Listen, I got in your
using
earbuds, and
my
I don't know how to
fabric.
make
Well,
it
you
stop.
Don't think it was the
know how to
earbuds
make
that
it
did
stop.
Fabric
Okay,
scissors.
so I'm
Why?
gonna
Talk
try
about
and
this. You know, there's
make
no
'em
quilt
stop.
police here, so
Okay,
if you
so
use paper scissors,
I'm gonna keep
you
going,
do
Michael.
you.
I can't hear you,
But let
just so
me
you know.
just talk about
Um,
the reason. So at least you're not just doing
The
it
one
because
thing I
somebody
talked about
forced
is
you.
with the
You can make your own informed
is.
decision.
Well,
If
thank
you
you,
use
Eric. I'm glad to
fabric
see you here,
scissors
Bear.
on
I mean, everybody,
paper,
that Eric is my husband,
like
and
I
I'm
am
glad
using
he
it a
is
little
with
bit on
us.
paper
I
here.
hit a button on it.
Paper
I'm still
will
new. I'm so
dull
sorry, guys.
the scissors
So
faster, okay?
I talk about the
And by doing
Applefuse
that,
mat
you don't
and
get
how
as
you
much-
can
once it
build
dulls,
pieces
when
to
you're
make them
cutting
whole
your
units.
fabric with dull
Please tell me y'all don't
my
still hear
goodness.
me,
When you
because
are
I think I've turned them
cutting
off.
your fabric with dull
but
scissors, it makes it
some people
so
say if you
don't get
have,
as much of
I guess I should
ignoring
wait.
there we go. Of a precision.
Double lesson.
Okay. And I also realized
I super love you, Mary.
because I have done my paper scissors doing this
Okay.
type of cutting.
Did they shut off, guys?
Kind of tears it instead
Here.
of cutting it.
Let me
So,
switch. Well, that ain't
It's
gonna work.
okay. You can. It's not.
Is
gonna
it still
hurt
playing
anything.
double? I don't know if it
Just
is.
know
I need
that
to
your
know because I
precision
don't
on
have
your
them
fabric
in.
cutting may
and they
not
should
be
turn off.
as accurate, and it may.
Okay, still hear
tear.
both.
Okay.
Thank you,
So
Air
I'm
Bear.
gonna get the rest of these. Oh, I've only got one more.
I don't know how to
See,
fix
this
it.
I'll go ahead and throw away. What I do is I.
There's nothing to do with the headphones.
If I had anything. See, now I can use this
Yeah,
again.
you're gonna help me
okay?
turn them off and
And I'll
reset
cut
them.
this
Do
out,
we
and
know
then
how
I'll
to do
say
that?
what's down
It's
here.
nothing to do with the headphones.
So I'll get the rest of these all cut out, and we'll go to the
I got a
next step,
video
guys.
playing in the
See,
background?
here's
Yeah.
the rest of it. The next
Oh
step we're
my
going to
God.
do is we're going to start to
It's not the
work with
headphones.
our background.
fault.
All right. That's not what I thought I heard, but oh, I'm so glad he came down.
Literally saw teens. I know you and I were talking about this yesterday. Walking all.
Does anybody hear anything still? That's like crazy. Okay. Wow. Double. Oh. Okay. I've never experienced that. Are we good now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, good. It stopped. Okay.
Yeah, if you would have kept your headphones in, I could have talked to you and,
Oh,
have
I'm
the
sorry.
point of why I'm in your ear. But you
I never
decided-
had that happen. Sorry.
Yeah, what has nothing to do with
It's
the
back
headphones?
again.
Stop. Okay, go to the video and pause it. Stop touching the side. One of your headphones is a push to start, and it's starting the video.
Oh.
So stop touching the sides of your headphones.
Well, that won't
and
be
turn it
there.
off.
Now, it wasn't because my husband was gone.
Is that better, guys? This is so embarrassing. I told you I got new stuff. Listen, I'm closing everything out. Okay. We won't have it happen again. All right. So, supposedly I do an applique mat, an Applefuse mat. I do have that on board, but some people say that you can use a parchment paper. Thank you, staff. Thank good now. Okay. I'm working it out, guys. This is all new. Okay, so the thing about it, I did a test with parchment paper and I was not successful. And I didn't just do it once. I've done it 3 times. And it doesn't, for me, and it might work for you, but for me, it won't stick again. It doesn't leave the adhesive on the parchment paper from the heat and bond, but it doesn't still stick. It's gone. The whole thing is absolutely gone. Are you still there, Michael?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. All right, so saying that, I just want to give you a heads up. 2 seconds for the initial press, up to 6 seconds for the second press when you're adhering the fabric to your background. Okay, that's what the instructions say, but you'll have to learn how your iron works and how it works for you. It's funny, I know. Mary, I love you. Oh, I absolutely love you. Okay, so I also wanted, the first video showed this, the second one did not, so I'm going to pull you in for just a bit and show you some tracing. Now, I'm actually not tracing on Heat and Bond Light. I'm actually tracing on a stabilizer. It's a steam and heat and tear, whatever that is. It's a stabilizer, okay? But you'll be able to see it, and that was the important thing that I wanted for you to be able to see it. Ooh, that was crazy. All right, so oh, the sound of parchment attracts your cats? Yeah, that's funny. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, I'm just looking. I think I want to bring this down just a little closer. I know y'all can't see it yet, but you will. Oh yeah, beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch cameras here. So this is the actual Santa hat template. Now I will tell you, do I still have it? Okay, I printed it another time. And if you look, you have to watch your printing settings, because you can even tell how much different this is. Okay, and you can see that there's like this border up here and everything. Now I printed this one from the website that y'all get, okay? But just to let you know, this part right here, the brim, is about 2 1/4 inch. It's a little bit bigger than 2 1/4, but it's about there, okay? And the circle is a little bit, it's like 1 1/8 in diameter. So you want to be careful with your settings, because that other one wasn't going to work. So one of the things I wanted to show you, okay, is this is a little bit, so for those that saw the original video, this is kind of a repeat, okay? But this right here is a little bit wider than this down here, and it was on purpose to help with lining up on this hat. But you don't have to do that. I'm going to stand up. Just give me a second. So because this is wider over here, if you just want it straight, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your pencil, and I put it on where I, before that curve, right on top of the line. And I take my ruler and I butt it up against the pencil. And then I find the place down here and I move the ruler to meet the pencil. I check this side. I actually moved it a little, so I'll move it back. Once they're good, you connect the dots. Now, if you don't want it wider over here, when you line up your ruler again, you will see that it can line up on a mark of the line that you drew. So then I just check myself, it's good, and I just go ahead and draw. Now what you're going to be able to see how this line just kind of, can you see that? No. I don't know how well you can see it, but this is my drawn line, and then the line underneath actually comes out a little bit because it's wider. Once you do, if you just want to draw, you can play with your templates. No matter where you get your templates from, you can always manipulate templates. And then you just trace the corner. And you just trace this corner up until the point that you need to make a turn earlier. I'm the worst tracer, guys. And then you just connect that dot, okay? And everything will be equal. You do not have to do this wider side over here, okay? I wanted to give you a heads up on that because it was in the first video where it was terrible. And I left that part out because when you repeat yourself, that's kind of what happens. Okay. You have big hands. You may have to make it a pillow size. Oh my God, Mary, you're so funny. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk to you, well, let me make sure. Talked about heat and bind light. Oh, where'd it go? Okay. One of the other things, okay, that we discussed in the video was the hexagon. And I talked about, this is a 4.5 inch piece of fabric. I talked about, well, I do the backside. Talked about folding it in half and then marking a 1 1/4, 1 1/4, and then alongside 1 1/4 and 3 1/4. Here's the issue. If you don't line up your, remember I said sometimes it's cut wrong and sometimes it's not. When you're on the side, if I did it like this where the fold's in the middle, okay, it's over here on the left, and I want to mark 1 1/4 inches, but then when I turn it around and from this corner, folds over here, now we're on a different corner, and I mark it, you're going to get two different markings. They're just going to be different. To be honest with you, if you don't want to confuse yourself, okay, here's what I would do. I'm looking for my disappearing ink pen. Here's what I would do. On every side, and then you don't have to think about it, you mark 1 1/4 inches, 3 1/4 inches. Turn it. Ruler's still facing the same direction. The one marks on the left. You mark 1 1/4 and 3 1/4. And you do that to all four sides. Let me show you what happens. So 1 1/4, 3 1/4. Turn, come back. Last one. And of course you should make sure you're straight. I'm doing this really fast. 1 1/4, 3 1/4. So what happens when you fold the fabric, your dots will line up. And then you can fold and cut, because all the dots on both sides will all line up. And you won't have to, now you can always still check it and fold it in half after you're cut to make sure, but they all will line up in the same place if you do it that way. Okay, so I wanted to share that too. Love you too, Mom. I didn't know you were here. Glad to see you. Tell Dad I said hi. Love you. So that was one thing I wanted to share. The last thing I wanted to talk about is this circle. Okay. And I got the light. I'm sorry, I'm still on here. I'm going to turn down the light just a bit. All right. I wanted to talk about the circle. Notice, I ended up using crimping scissors, okay, on the edge, and you can actually see the batting. There's a reason. So if you're going to do a circle and you don't have a template and y'all want one, there's actually one coming out for the sew along. And if you're in Creative Kingdom, I'm going to go ahead and post it. This is an early version. It's not the final version, but it works for this project. It's a 4.5 inch circle. This is 4.5 all the way around. Okay, now here we go with the lights again. Okay, inside this solid line in here is 4 inches. I had to think about it. Okay, so what to get, it doesn't really matter. You can actually work with something smaller. You don't have to do 4 inches. This is a 4-inch square. Okay, or circle. That's not a square.
That's definitely not a square. I see
but
triangles.
It doesn't.
I don't see any circles.
You could probably get you could probably get away with a 3.5 if you're just doing the hat and you do a jingle bell. If you add the ball, you're definitely going to need to be 4.5. I would cut your initial square of fabric, okay, bigger than 4.5. I would do 4 3/4. Okay, then I would take your template. Now this isn't 4.5, so you know, but you would take your 4.5 inch circle template and you would trace it, cut out your circle. I would do 4.5 on your background fabric, 4.5 inch circle on your backing fabric, and on your batting. you would, take your batting and cut a 4.5 inch circle from your batting. So all three are 4.5 inches. Okay. This is what I did. With the backing, or no, with the, what do you call that? Background fabric. I put the Santa Claus hat on here without the ball. So I centered it up and down and left and right without the ball. I applifused it on. Okay. Got it going. I added my little string with my bell because the knot's on the other side. And I still had it available. I stitched it before anything. And then I added the backing. I added the batting. I got them all centered. I took a 4-inch circle and I traced that right on top of this circle, the original 4.5 inch circle. That gave me a guide to go all the way around. And listen, I forgot the first time to put the loop in there, so I actually had to rip stitches, and you see I have a little issue over here because I had to rip them and don't forget to add your hanging. But you do that after you trace, add your little hanging thing, and just follow the stitch line. Why did I do this? I did do a circle, guys. I wish I had my, I do. Here we go. I did have a circle that I did just like the square and just like the octagon. What I found was when I went to push the whole thing out, if you do that, you want to make the gap small because getting the right turn is an issue if it's a really big hole before you turn it inside out. So you want that hole smaller. And number 2, any jig jag that you may have in your circle will show when you push it out. So this way it looks nicer. And let me be real with you. I actually have an easy button. I forgot to grab it. I'm hitting the easy button. That was easy from Staples or whatever it is that came out with that commercial. This is the easy button for a circle. And it still turns out really cute. It still is a lot of fun. Just don't forget to put the hanging in there. Well, thank y'all. I love doing it. And, doing that, I did the square and I talked about how to get the right positioning so you can put a button in there instead. So that is a button. We did the pom-poms. Okay. And I just did some blanket stitching on this one. Of course, I added the little bow. Well, I didn't. My husband did. He hot glued the little bows on top. And these will be cute for the tree. I'm also thinking for Christmas presents. You know how we like to decorate the Christmas presents. And I was thinking I can just take a piece of string and tie the to and from to it so they can snip it off and still allow it to be used on their present. And then they have something to hang from it. That's homemade. So you can do a square. This one's not hard, guys. The hexagon, it's just finicky when you get into the small space to pull it. This one's probably the easiest, the square. And then, of course, I will say if you do the circle this method, this is by far the easiest. And again, for those of you who are in Creative Kingdom, I will drop, this isn't the final for the sew along, but it is the same concept. So you're going to see some of this again. But this is a 4.5 inch circle, and then inside is a 1/4 inch, and that's a 4 inch circle. So no matter what you're doing, you'll have that for you inside Creative Kingdom to be able to manipulate. And for those who don't know what Creative Kingdom is, it's our private Facebook group. It's private. So the link is in the description box to get there, and you have to answer the 3 questions. It's a safety thing. I have a lot of people that try who want to be a part of the Creative Kingdom, but they're not answering all 3 questions. And it's so important that you do that, because we keep everybody in there safe. Let me switch cameras again here. When turning them right side out, you used a hemostat. Yes. I like to use a crochet hook. Yes. Or chopstick to help turn it and push the edges and the corners out. I'm so glad that you said that, Sharina, because there are so many things, and those are because a crochet hook. I have a lot of those. I'm going to try that. That's brilliant. And I will say that Mary actually talked about doing an embroidery, an emery board, that you file your nails with. And you know how they have like a little turn on them? It can actually help you make trace turns a little bit better. I think that's what Mary was going with. Plus, she said it helps push her fabric out. So emery boards, chopsticks, crochet hook. I love the crochet hook and the emery board because they're not sharp and they have a bend. You just got to, whatever you use, just don't use it with a point. So, oh, thank you, Miss Mary. Yeah, you love all things Christmas, don't you, Sherry? But thank you very much for talking about that. And yes, it was the hemostat. It took me a while to remember what the name was. The other thing that Sharina helped me with was, I couldn't remember what popcorn on a string was called that you put on your Christmas tree, and she was like, popcorn garland. Yep, that's it. Thank you. I couldn't remember the word. So that is, the purple thing does. Yes, it does. The purple thing also, it's the purple thing with an A. So they say, you haven't tried it though. I do have the purple thing. It does work too. And there's all kinds of stuff that you can do with the purple thing. We do have those in the shop also if anybody's interested, but I should have brought it. Yeah, it's not anywhere close because I've been using different things recently. But yes, the Sassy Steph, that is absolutely correct. The purple thing is another great tool. I love this. Being able to help each other with different tools, because there's so many tools too with quilting, and a lot of us use stuff that are in the kitchen or in other rooms, and we found that they're very helpful. I mean, look, a hemostat is part of the medical field, but it works great for quilting. Super awesome. So I love it that y'all are sharing and giving all these ideas, because I will tell you, I do have a ton of beginners, super beginners that are cherubs here in the Halo community. And so to hear these things and all your suggestions also helps for those who are looking for something, because there's nothing worse than doing something and you use something to turn something out and you I've done it. I've put holes in things. I have a video where I did it. I forget what tool I was using, but it went straight through, and it ended up closing, which I don't know how that happened. I didn't have to patch it. There was like no hole when I pulled it back through. It went through the threads or something, because but it did. And I said, it was the pocket prayer quilt of all the videos. It was the pocket prayer quilt. So thank you guys for definitely sharing. A butter knife.
A throw pillow made with this design would be cool.
What?
A throw pillow with the design of this stuff would be really cool.
Yeah, you just gotta make it bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a throw pillow would be cool.
It would. And that's what
they're called, right? Like decorative pillows. That's what they're called, throw pillows.
A decorative pillow or a pillow, yeah. Throw pillow, yeah. There's all kinds of names. You're right. And you could put more batting in even the square. You can make them fatter with filling them up with some more batting, or polyfill. You can use polyfill and make these kind of. I have to make one now. I'm gonna have to make one with a 4.5-inch square. I'm gonna make a pillow. Oh yeah, it'll be a little one. It's only gonna be 4.5 inches.
But that's not really a throw pillow, but
no, it's not. It's just very decorative.
It's like a I don't know. You could turn that almost into what are those called? The needle holder thingies.
Yeah. The needle what?
Holder thingies, like the tomato.
Oh, the pin cushions. Yeah, we could make a pin
cushion.
cushion.
You could make a pin cushion.
You could. Yes. Very good. Now, Sassy asks, I wonder what Lori Holt uses to turn her corners. She uses the Clover, I think it's called a Clover turner. And it has a rounded point on one side, but it's kind of shaped like a butter knife, like Mary talked about. It's kind of shaped like that. I thought about trying it out. And then if I like it, I was going to put it in the store. But it's got a point on one end and it like curves around and comes down, and it's got a handle with it. And that way she can get corners, and then the rounding helps her get pushing out the seams. So I know you were laughing because it's all about Lori Holt, but she does have her favorite tool. So just so you know. But yeah, that's all I got. And anybody have any more to add? I have never tried a butter knife, but some of them would work, Mary, and some of them are going to cut through my fabric. It just depends on the butter knife. I mean, if you got one of those old school, how about those things, just so you thinking about butter knives, those little weird shaped knives that you use to cut, or not to cut, but like to spread like jelly, and they're shaped funny. I don't know what they're called, but they're in your kitchen. That might work. The branches on your new Christmas tree are so close together that it limits the size of the ornaments you can hang. Well, you can hang some inside the tree, You have the Clover pointer. Okay, well, of course you do, Sherry. Sherry with a C. Very cool. And you like yours? Because, you love Lori Holt, so that doesn't surprise us. Oh, I love that y'all are smiling. Butter knife, yep. Very fun. Y'all are so fun. But that's what I had for today. I was going to go somewhere else in my head. We did talk about new fabrics yesterday. I will drop this preliminary. Y'all are going to see it again in the sew along. Like, heads up. But I'm going to drop it in Creative Kingdom for anybody who wants a 4.5 inch and a 4-inch circle. A plastic knife, well, it could work, or I would be the one that pushed too hard and it snaps, and then I have to figure out how to get in there and pull out the plastic. Gosh, there was something else I was going with. Yeah, that's what we have for today. I'm glad y'all stopped by. I was like, I don't know if anybody's going to be here or not. Because we already talked yesterday. But I will have to bring the easy button next week. I really do. My husband has it. It's a red button like from Staples, and you push it and it says that was easy. I'll have to bring that next time. But we will do happy hour this Saturday, weather permitting. Not weather. It's electricity permitting. I don't expect to lose any, but who does? So we'll do that. Next week is Cherub Chit Chat. And next week I'll talk to you about the rest of the calendar. And we'll go from there. Yeah, today was fun. Thank you, Sassy Stuff. And again, everybody say, check in all your friends and family. Even if you haven't talked, not your family. Well, some people haven't talked to their family in a while. But, even if it's a friend that you haven't talked to in a while, reach out to those in Florida. Expect that if they don't have power, they may not be able to respond. But at some point, they're going to get a message, and hopefully they'll return it. That's pretty intense, guys. Cat 4 landing. That's an intense storm. It shows how much you like the chats. Well, I'm glad you do. It was fun and a hoot. And Mary, you help add to that. You and Sassy Stuff are, you spark the humor in our chats, which I absolutely love. And then everybody comes along with it because they're thinking, everybody's starting to feel lighthearted and funny, and so everybody starts chiming in. So, no, thank you, Mary. I will always drop a video, God willing, when we drop a video, and Michael will always be here as much as he can because he loves y'all too. we enjoy talking and discussing things and hearing your thoughts, and you coming along we'll be here. This is what we do. But you have a choice. Well, I have a choice too, I guess, and Michael has a choice, but it's different. You do it because you want to. And I do it because I want to, but if there was anything that happened and I was just like, I don't want to, I'm tired, I always feel better once I'm done. But you always come with a light heart and a spirit in your place, and you're just always, y'all are awesome. Say, what were you going to say? Not Air Bear, Michael?
I was like, what? I don't
know. I thought you were going to say something and interrupted you. Sherry, yes, you'll try to post the balloon glow pictures. You also have a great rest of the day. We look forward to them. And hey, Sherry, if you haven't left yet, can you take a picture of the final balloon guild quilt? Would love to see that. The final. Because the last time I don't think we had a final. And maybe we did, but if you could repost it, because we love your quilts from y'all's guild, because they're for the balloon festival. They're so awesome. So thank you so much, Sherry. Appreciate it. Thank you all for coming. If anybody has any questions, comments, or suggestions that you feel that you want to ask or need to say, and you're watching the hashtag replay, make sure to just drop them in the comments. We'll be there for you. We are always looking out for different things and appreciate all of your inputs, your suggestions, and your questions, because if you're asking, we're sure somebody else is too. And there's never a stupid question. There is never a question that shouldn't be asked. We welcome them because we know other people have the same ones. So feel free to do so. And until Saturday, if you're in Creative Kingdom, until Saturday, or until next Wednesday when we do Cherub Chit Chat, whoop whoop, we will see you all very soon. And never stop believing, right? We talk about the word of the year, and my word of the year a couple years ago was believe, and it just within the Halo group here, the Halo team, we all agreed that it's just a great word, so we're never changing it. So that's where that believe thing comes in. So may you continue to be inspired, productive, ever so joyful. Never stop believing. Never stop making your dreams in quilting come true. Thank you, Sherry. Appreciate it. Michael, you got something to say? You want to say goodbye?
Stay safe.
Stay safe. I love y'all.
Ending screen.
Thank you. Don't forget the ending screen. I love y'all. See y'all soon.